Rawr.
Rawr. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. My name is Bobby.
Jeremy.
And we are going to be talking about the road to Wrestlemania.
Yes, we are.
So, obviously, Elimination Chamber happened, which honestly was a lot bigger and a lot better show I was expecting.
Dude, that was 9.8 out of 10 for me. I love that. I love that pay-per-view.
It was great
PLE,
all the way through.
sorry.
PLE.
Can't say pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah, because you're not paying per view anymore.
Unless you don't have Peacock.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, it's been Raw, SmackDown after that. A lot's happened. So let's start off with one of the ones I feel like was overshadowed at first, but after SmackDown, they put it obviously a little bit more in the forefront with Randy Orton coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't care. I've never been a Randy Orton fan. I'm not going to start now. They're going to squish KO, and I don't like it. And
you think so?
Absolutely.
You don't think he's going to...
Randy Orton's got to have one last big run in him, and they're going to squash the shit out of KO to do it.
Interesting.
KO's going to go back to being that same guy he's been for the last year, where they just keep dumping on him with the bigger guys and moving on.
Which, I mean...
is not okay.
It's not, but for some reason, he can take a loss and bounce back better than any wrestler.
That's because they know he's the best on the screen.
True.
Also, from what my understanding is, the older wrestlers like working with him to do that because he's one of the safest in the ring.
For all the crazy shit that he does, he's the one that always takes the big bump.
He takes the bump.
He always takes the big bump.
Anything big he does is extremely safe. That package pile driver that keeps trying to say is literally one of the safest moves.
Oh God, you can tell it's super safe. Like he knows where to hold them at to protect the wrestlers.
It's literally one of the safest moves in wrestling. Like a DDT to me is scarier.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, anything is bad if you play it off theatrically, and that's what happens.
So last night on SmackDown, they set up kind of Randy Orton's next feud. I feel with John Cena, him talking crap about John Cena, which you had to have.
It was a sick burn, man. It was a really good burn. I loved it.
Yeah,
gives new meaning to rock bottom. I loved it.
Yeah, but I mean, in the last year of John Cena, you had to do Randy Orton John Cena again.
Oh, you have to.
You have to.
You
have to.
There's a few of them matches we need to see. A few of these Cena big name card matches.
And they've set them both up. Actually, to talk about Monday Night Raw for a second, they set that up with CM Punk as well. Like you have to run down the classics with John Cena before he goes. It has to be CM Punk versus and then it has to be Randy Orton. I'm
a little worried we're not going to get a versus for all of them, and they're going to try to do some kind of thing where all of them just kind of gang up on him in one mass. Kind of like everyone did to Roman at the end of Roman's reign.
True. That could happen.
But maybe a little more forefront, not necessarily in a match, but all of them just kind of get him in a circle and everyone just hit him. And
a circle jerk of...
Honestly, I feel at some point Cena's going to get beat so badly that he's going to turn face again before his run is over. And then we'll have one last match with him and The Rock.
Interesting. That's all. I mean...
It's just a thought.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm a pretty good spitballer, so...
To be real, I do think that Cena will turn babyface before the end of the run.
Oh, he absolutely has to.
I think that's one thing that all fans kind of agree on. I mean, he's gonna get cheered as a heel right now, anyways. Let's be honest.
Especially like if you paid attention to what WWE trademarked this last week, his gimmick is gonna be great.
What did they trade?
They trade-wished the Break-A-Wish Foundation. I'm in. I'm all the way in.
So I did not know that part.
Right, I'm in so deeply. I have no more PP for the move.
God, yeah. I mean, the smart thing to do is to lean into the heel this more, because honestly, he's gonna get, for older fans that was kind of sick of the old John Cena and kind of respected his current run. This is honestly feeding us. This is feeding the internet wrestling community more.
Right.
And then at the same point, at the end of this, they're going to turn him babyface.
I feel like Chris Van Vliet, I'm sure everyone knows who that is, right?
Yeah,
I feel like he knew. The reason I made that prediction that I made for Cena was I predicted this heel turn, easy. I had been seeing so many interviews with him and Van Vliet and him and a couple other people.
Yeah.
I don't know when they were recorded. I think they were recorded over a year ago.
It was over a year ago.
But the mention of him going heel and that he had already recorded a song, and he had new gear, he had all that stuff ready to go, and then he didn't get to do it, and that he wanted to do it. If it was ever going to come, the time is now. I mean, if that's not a Cena slogan in itself.
True. So, I think it was cleverly done. I don't know why Travis Scott needed to be there. Let's.
Because he needs some headline.
Well, I mean, he smacked the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
They probably promised him some things when they gave him like the Raw, stupid, crappy song he made, and
I actually like Fiend, or that's the WrestleMania one. I don't know what the Raw one is.
I haven't even heard the WrestleMania one yet.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Fiend, and I'm not a Travis Scott fan. And
didn't he like kill a bunch of people?
That was a concert that he did.
Wasn't he directly responsible? He set the show up?
Something like that.
And nobody just cares anymore?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you're rich and powerful. Like, a lot of stuff you kind of get under the... I think his biggest thing is I think he might allegedly domestic abuse somebody as well.
That sounds about right. It's like, kind of like how nobody cares about Chris Brown anymore.
Yeah. But he's clearly a big wrestling fan.
Yes,
he's
Sorry, we'll get back on.
Let's get into a little bit lighter stuff. He's clearly a wrestling fan, and he's clearly a star regardless. I do find two things hilarious, though. One, Drake was there in Toronto,
right,
and they did not show him one fucking bit.
Nope.
And Drake is by far a bigger star. Let's be honest.
Right.
Did not show him once.
And he was right behind the announcers.
Exactly. Not one
Who was he with? They got him over and over again.
I don't remember.
Because I saw a TikTok from this guy's perspective.
Yeah.
In the ring.
Yeah.
And he looks over at Drake, and I'm like, no fucking way. Drake was there the whole time. Nobody said a word.
Nobody. WWE didn't mention it once.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. Like even on the recaps, like that one. Like they show all these like B and C grade level stars, and not Drake at all.
If one show didn't crush a man, I don't know what didn't.
Yeah, that's brutal for him. I feel bad for him.
I don't.
But at the same time,
I'm assuming it's all legit. I don't really care.
It's not. It's not legit, but it was a good line. It's a good line.
My wife's a big fan of him, so I'm always been anti him whenever. So she's a fan of him for Degrassi though, not for his rap.
Sadly enough, like I know Aubrey more from Degrassi than anything.
Little Jimmy Brooks.
Yeah, we're gonna get on the way big tangent talking about him in the fucking wheelchair and all that kind of
Little Jimmy Brooks. That's all I ever hear about. Oh my God, it's little Jimmy Brooks.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
My wife's a loser.
We got off on a huge tangent because
we can do Gilmore Girls too. I do that one a lot now.
Gilmore Girls,
yeah.
Interesting.
My wife has ruined my life.
That's all wives.
That's true.
That's all wives.
True. All right. So
anywho, Randy Orton, he's gonna be. I think they're. I actually, KO's gonna probably take the loss at Mania. I agree.
Probably.
With that. He's probably gonna take the loss.
KO is gonna be the bug underneath his shoe.
Yeah, and they do that with Randy Orton. Like sometimes, like it's still a marquee match, but at the same time, KO's gonna lose this, and he's probably gonna take some time off.
Don't get me. This is that one thing when everyone's like, "Oh, name that one wrestling opinion you have that would have you like surrounded by everyone with swords pointed at you." Like for me, it's like Randy Orton is not special. Randy Orton was special. Randy Orton is not special.
It's the legend thing. So
it's absolutely the legend thing. Like just because he did some things in the past, he has everyone's love. He is boring as hell on the mic, other than last night. I mean, he's boring as hell on the mic. He's even more boring in the ring. Yeah. He's been doing the same shitty gimmick for 20 years.
Hot take? Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong.
Am I the heel and you're the face?
I think I'm the tweener, so I can see from both perspectives.
Okay, little Jimmy Brooks.
Randy Orton, I think, does get more... He's still a big name. That's the thing, is he is still a big name. He does have value. Would I be pushing him right now if I ran a wrestling promotion? Fuck no.
Well, see, that's the problem though, is the crowd still loves him, and I don't understand why.
It's.
I got a friend of mine where I told him this hot take of mine too not too long ago, and he's like, "You shut the hell up. Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler of all time." I'm like, the fuck?
That's because he was so good.
Right. And people just can't get over the past.
Yeah, that's true. And that's kind of the bad thing about wrestling and wrestling fans is that those legends, if they meet that status, you can't break them from that status.
Right.
And unless you're Hulk Hogan and say some racist shit.
Right. But I mean, even other wrestlers have come out more recently, and done political things, then people still are all over them.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't make sense to me how some can get so much hate and some can get so much love. There are wrestlers who have been, beating their wives and beating their children, and no one cares.
Yeah.
But, it's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's weird how some things matter and some don't.
Blind loyalty to some sort of degree. Yeah. All right. To turn on to the other person that came back at the Elimination Chamber and came back on SmackDown as well, Jade Cargill.
And I called it again.
He did call it.
I called everything that happened. I'm so good. However, I did think the Cena thing would happen at Mania. I thought it would. I thought it would build to Mania. I didn't think it would happen at the Chamber.
Yeah, I think the thing that was shocking about the Cena thing, not to get off of Jade Cargill, which we'll talk about Cena next, is that I didn't think they were going to blow their load that quickly on it.
They really did. That was some premature ejaculation if I ever seen any.
But at the same time, it sets it up. I think honestly, it sets it up better for the wrestling.
I agree.
So I don't mind the premature ejaculation.
Now, Jade Cargill. All right.
Jade Cargill.
So we knew, everyone and their mom knew that Naomi had something to do with it. Something to do with it.
Yeah, clearly.
Now,
because she didn't just jump into the tag team and
right. Now, Jade Cargill coming out at Chamber was not unexpected for me at all. I knew it was going to happen. However, I think they did it wrong. You don't have her, you don't have the music play. You don't have her come out in her whole ring gear. Like, this is dumb. Like, theatrics or not, like, the woman should have came out in street clothes with a damn bat. Or something, not in her wrestling gear, looking like the goddess that she is.
To be fair, she looks like a fucking god. Like, her body is carved out.
It's crazy because she's jacked, but she's not unattractively jacked.
Yeah. She finds that perfect balance.
Nailed. And she's a little older, so they do need to get moving on her if they're going to. I think they've made a star out of her. I think AEW lifted her really well. Like, AEW 100%. Started her well. Mm-hmm. They gave her this big, 100 and some odd match undefeated streak, Goldberg style, right?
Right.
And then she's like, you know what? I think if I'm going to get to be a star, I need to move to WWE. And it's nothing against AEW. It just, this is what I need to do.
This is the bigger.
And she's absolutely right. And WWE has done the right thing with her. I don't know about this big, long break they just did with her. I don't know if that was right. I did see some rumors that she had some backstage heat, and this might have been to cool things off. I saw that she got into a fight with a couple of people backstage.
I don't know. So I don't necessarily believe that. I think that there's twofold for that. I think that, one, there was a rumor that she did have a nagging injury, which I do believe that might have been partially true. That definitely didn't explain why she was gone for so long. Because it was just a small name.
Yeah, what was that? Like 3 months?
Yeah, it was like about 3 months. Yeah,
that was a good run.
It was a good run. So
unless she had surgery,
and I don't think that's true. I just from what I've heard is that it should have took a couple weeks.
Right, but it's like the Randy Orton thing. I mean, there was no injury there. I mean, he's old and needed some time off.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the second thing is to truly figure out where they were going with the story, because everybody assumed it was going to be Bianca.
I still think Bianca's got to be involved in some way, shape, or form.
And I'm not as. I thought for sure that it was going to be a part of it. I don't think it's necessarily going to go that way, because I do think that WWE needs Bianca as a babyface.
I don't disagree with you. I just feel like WWE also needs a Jade and Bianca feud.
And that's good. And that's got to happen. So
how we get there is the next story.
I do think that you can tell the story that that Jade doesn't feel like Bianca had her back enough.
Okay.
Which will kind of be Jade turning a little bit on Bianca.
The other thing I think we might see is maybe Bianca thinks Jade's taken these beatings too far and steps in.
True.
Not necessarily turning heel, but stepping in to say, hey, you've done enough. And then Jade says, well, F you too, and starts beating her up.
True.
That's a Jade heel turn.
And Jade has to be the one that's...
Her being the big, mean-looking bitch that she is, she needs the heel turn.
Jade needs to be the heel. But I'm not so that...
I don't know that I let her beat Bianca, though.
Honestly, I don't think that... I think they're going to hold off on this match pretty long.
Yeah, this is going to drag on.
I think it's going to... Honestly,
this is going to be little bits here and there on every other pay-per-view or every other PLE and every third show for the next couple of months, I think.
So here is my take. I honestly think that... And this might be multiple years until a true payoff. I don't think...
You think this is long-term?
I think this is super long-term.
I don't know that Jade's going to wrestle that long.
Oh, she for sure is.
I have seen interviews from her personally saying that she does not want to wrestle forever because she wants to be around for her kids.
Sure. Which is fair.
I don't know how long that is.
Yeah.
But I know she's already mid-30s.
I thought she was closer to 40. I know her husband's 40.
Yeah, she's mid-upper 30s. Like, she's... As a woman wrestler, you don't have that much time.
Yeah, but she wasn't a wrestler for that long.
Men wrestlers can go into their 50s and no one gives a shit. But women wrestlers can't.
True, because, it's more superficial.
Right, it's a superficial thing. But, AJ Styles is almost 50, and look at him, so...
Yeah. So, I personally think it's multiple years, because I think WWE is more interested in telling a Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair story, because I do think that... And this is to spoil what happened on Monday Night Raw when Io Sky won the women's championship. I think the logical thing would be this year to do a triple threat and then continue the character progression for Rhea. And at some point, it has to be Rhea versus Bianca one-on-one at Mania. And I do think that takes priority over Jade versus Bianca at Wrestlemania.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm not saying Jade and Bianca at Mania for sure. Definitely not a necessity. Jade and Bianca at some point is a necessity.
For sure. If it has to. But again, that's because...
And that'll probably be a series of matches. It'll be a regular match. It'll be a cage. It'll be a strap. It'll be something crazy. A big stipulation for when they finally get the real showdown. It'll be a street fight in a cage or some stupid shit.
Have they done a women's street fight?
They just did one on SmackDown last night.
I guess they've had they also had the trash match.
By the way, Michin and Chelsea Green looked great last night. Chelsea Green went coast to coast.
Chelsea Green is a very underrated wrestler.
Yeah, they do not let her do her thing very often.
She's great.
And she got to do it last night.
She's great with character, and everybody forgets that she's actually really good in the ring.
Right. She Cactus jacked it up, and I was pretty happy.
Yeah. But I'm just... besides last night, when's the last time they've done a street fight for a women's...
as far as I know, that's the first women's street fight.
Honestly, I don't remember.
They've done women's no holds barred and women's hardcore matches, I guess. But, I'd just like to see them bring back an old-fashioned hardcore match. We don't need a street fight. Call it a hardcore match, because that's what it is.
It is essentially the same thing. No, all these terms can be...
I want the hardcore title back.
A non-sanctioned match is just basically a fucking street fight.
I want a hardcore title match back.
Alright, so Jade Cargill, Naomi. We get off track a lot. Jade Cargill, I'm assuming Naomi's going to be the match for Mania. I do think that will actually happen at Mania.
Yes.
So...
And that, we've already seen what Jade can do to Naomi, so I don't know why it would be much of a match.
No, it's going to be like a 5-man match, if that.
Yeah, unless they make a stipulation on it. What's the one where you got to touch 3 posts?
Oh, God, no. They better not do that.
That's a strap match, right? That's a technical strap match.
Yes. Yes, that is. Because you're strapped together and you have to touch the corners, yeah.
But, something... there's got to be something where Naomi looks like she has a chance. So, it would be something with weapons.
You would think...
But if Jade does have a nagging injury problem, you're not going to put her in that position either. So,
I expect a 3-man match, squash match, and the way they've been building Naomi.
How does that work for Naomi in the long run?
You can rebuild her.
Oh, I don't think they've even successfully built her.
I for sure think they've built her.
Ugh.
I don't believe Naomi deserves to be on top of the card.
I legitimately would tell you that I think Naomi is like bottom 5 of the women's roster.
That's a little rough. That's a little rough for me, at least.
She goes on the TV, and I pretty much look away. I'd rather watch the Poison Pixie.
She's a good wrestler.
No, she's not.
She's a good wrestler.
I'd rather watch Nia Jax.
Are you talking about Poison Pixie, or are you talking about Naomi? I guess for a good wrestler, because I was saying Poison Pixie's a good wrestler.
Technically, she's good. She's not fun at all. She's terrible. She's terrible ring presence.
Yeah, I agree with that part.
Technically, she can wrestle.
She can technically wrestle.
Yeah, just like Johnny Wrestling can.
Yeah, exactly.
Also boring and shitty to me. Hot take.
But yeah, Naomi. I think Naomi is more known for
dancing.
And her gimmick. Which, it's not a bad gimmick, because I remember, like, kids do like her gimmick.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that she learned from being part of the Bloodline family. She got the good gimmick from Jay. Too bad she can't teach her husband how to make a gimmick. Big Jim!
To be fair, Big Jim was the more over one until he started getting to DUIs. And honestly, he's the one that actually made the yeet first.
I know he is. That's what's funny about it.
So, honestly, I do feel like if Big Jim... which that's a fucking terrible name.
Yeet.
It's hilarious. If he didn't get injured, I do think that he would be the one that was pushed first. I 100% do. I think that they could have easily switched and had Jimmy be where Jay is now. Because I do think that Jimmy's honestly better on the mic than Jay. Jay's fucking terrible on the mic.
I think Jimmy's better on the mic. I think Jay's better in the ring.
I think Jimmy's way better in the ring.
I think they both suck in the ring on solo matches, but I think Jay's better in the ring.
I disagree. I think Jimmy's way better.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one.
That's fine. That is fine. But
the Usos separately are nothing. They need to be together. Either way, I don't care.
Either way, yeah.
They need to go back to Raw as a tag team because Raw needs the help.
I mean, there might be a saving hope for the Raw Tag Team division actually coming up soon.
It's true, there might be.
Yeah. Do you want to go into that, or do you want to talk about the John Cena heel turn?
I might as well go to tag team talk. I mean, we're already here.
Yeah, let's go there. So, Rey Fenix is out of his AEW contract. While they are definitely pushing Penta solo...
He's getting ganged up on right now. It's perfect timing to bring a friend in.
Exactly.
/ a brother.
Exactly. I think they have to have the tag team. I do.
It is time for goddamn Rey Fenix, baby.
I think Rey Fenix and Penta as a tag team, and I love it. And I do think that it's time for Raw to have that legitimate contender against the War Raiders.
War Raiders.
I almost said Viking Raiders.
He said Viking Raiders on Raw too. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
I would laugh so hard.
Yeah. The War Raiders. And as much as American Made has stepped up, they're not that team to win the belt from them.
Yeah, those two really are very good wrestlers.
They are.
They really are.
I personally would have pushed the New Day a little bit more to the front of the tag team.
Especially being heels. They've never been heels. Fucking push them.
They should. Honestly, I feel like that's a loss. Like, they could still do it, but they lost a lot of their momentum after that heel turn. And
I think they took their heel turn too seriously, too. Like, they're jokey guys. Like, even as heels, they can still have fun. Yeah. And they're not doing that. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah. And it's just... And they're not telling the story right. So, after the breakup, they both had singles matches and lost, but they've been winning as a tag team now. But they're not telling that to the fans.
Right.
Like, it's small stuff like that. Like, that they need to layer this out to the fans better. That, they're better together, which they are, but they're not telling that to the audience. They just had them take loss after loss after loss.
Yep.
And now that they're starting to win now, people still remember the losses.
Yep.
So they didn't set it up right. Raw's getting a little bit better in the tag team division. SmackDown's way better in tag team.
Yeah, SmackDown has the tag teams. That's
like SmackDown across.
And
the board.
I think the U.S. Women's Championship is more important than the Women's Intercontinental.
They're trying.
I don't think Lyra was the right girl to put that title.
I agree. I get their thinking. She's young.
Lyra can wrestle, that's fine, but she does not have a character. She's got no charisma on the mic.
Woo! Woo! The crowd at first were trying to get behind it, and then now they're just don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
Dakota Kai was the right person for that title. And, she doesn't have it. So.
Honestly, I feel like they should have just did one mid-card title. I think having two between the shows, because Raw just doesn't have the, honestly...
Right, I don't disagree. And one mid-card would have been a good way to get, like, one NXT girl, the occasional opportunity to come up.
100%.
I mean, you'd have to have her lose every once in a while, so that would hurt her, but...
Yeah. Again, it's a progression belt.
Right. You're
not going to win all the time.
Right. Which is why I thought it was weird to put the U.S. on Chelsea Green, because I don't think she needs to... She doesn't need the boost.
She was already over.
Right, and fans will always love her because of her past. Like, for example, like I watched the AJ Styles interview yesterday where he said that he didn't know if anyone would know who he was when he came out at Rumble his first time.
Right.
When he showed up at Rumble.
Right.
And it was like, that's the example of wrestling fans, regardless of our number one brand. We understand other wrestling factions. We still keep an eye on it. We watch for young and up and coming talent to come to where we want them to go to.
Right.
So like this is why we already all love Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
We've seen her past works and we know that she can do it, but we also know that she's A, getting older, and B, WAB is safer so they don't let her do these things.
Correct. And honestly, I think a part of it is that she wanted to do something else. Like, she's nailed her character.
Right. She'll straight up tell you that her number one thing for her is character. It is not wrestling.
Yeah, and
she's in it for the show.
Yeah, and as much as I love wrestling, I think that's the big difference between AEW and WWE.
That's the big difference between every faction in WWE.
And WWE just got character down.
Yes.
And Chelsea Green is a great character. I think and obviously I feel like the U.S. title for the women's is way better than the Intercontinental title for the women's. But at the same time, they've been doing the same feud.
For both of them.
No, they switched it up. They gave it to...
It's been Dakota Kai versus Lyra like 4 times. It was Ivy Nile this last time. But,
yeah, exactly.
And Ivy Nile looked really good, honestly.
She did.
Ivy Nile looks good.
Yeah, she's...
I'd give her a title before I'd give it to the Creed brothers.
I agree.
But it makes more sense for her to win a U.S. women's title being what their gimmick is.
Yeah, but they're not going to switch her show, so...
No, but you know what I mean.
I get, again, that
like,
makes
I always think it's funny when they give the U.S. title to someone who's not a United States national.
I love it.
Like Shinsuke having it was funny to me. Chelsea Green having it now, knowing she's a blatant Canadian. Oh, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. I mean, she's for sure Canadian. Her husband's obviously American, so
right.
And she lives in America, but yeah, she's probably Canadian, and that's good.
Yep, she's blatantly Canadian, and it's hilarious.
So it's funny. It's funny. It's great. I do think that they've given Chelsea Green a lot more TV time than Lyra, and she's done a lot better job. It's not even close.
Lyra's great in the ring. I don't mind watching Lyra in the ring at all, but she's got nothing otherwise. Like that's where I think she needs a mouthpiece, or
I think
maybe a character. Like her character, just not a character there for me, other than I'm a good wrestler.
See, and typically with younger wrestlers, it's harder for them to grasp the character.
Right.
But in the counter for that, Roxanne Perez has her character fucking down. She knows her fucking
She's
character.
going to skip the mid-cards and go right to the top.
I think that, actually, that was my point in bringing up Roxanne Perez, is that I think she should be the one that beats Lyra Valkyria.
I think she can go collect both mid-card titles. I'd be okay with it.
Oh, the belt collector.
I'd be okay with it.
But I think that she would be the perfect one to beat because she has the character and she could bring that title up a notch.
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, Roxanne Perez would be perfect for that, and then you can still have it more legitimate because she's still feuding with Bayley. I think that's honestly going to be a kind of continuous feud. Yep. Like it's not just going to be 1 or 2 matches. I think that's going to be like year 2, like whenever they see each other. Like it's like Sami Zayn.
I have a feeling we're going to see them team up and win the tag titles as well.
That'd be interesting, actually. That would be interesting
because I feel like eventually, like they're feuding, but I don't feel like their feud is like super disrespectful.
No, it's not. It's more they want to be the best.
Right. So I see those two being, well, hey, why don't we team up and go win these tag titles?
That would be interesting because honestly, what other tag teams are there?
Women's? I can't name.
There's none on the main roster.
Every time there becomes a good women's tag title, they seem to break them apart.
Yeah. Either that.
Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, Katana Chance and what's her nuts?
Even Piper Niven and Chelsea Green.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean,
there is no main roster unless they go down to NXT, which NXT has a lot more tag teams in it.
But they do that just so more people get screen time.
Exactly. But again,
it's a learning thing.
Right? It is a learning thing, and that's how it should be. Because I mean, if WWE doesn't have, they do have enough women. Let me be. They do have enough women.
Plenty enough women
on the main roster. It's just they don't use them properly.
Right.
Like it, but part of it to me, I'm okay with it. I don't want to fucking see what's her face.
I wouldn't be mad if they made a solo women's show.
They are talking about Evolution too.
I would not be mad at an entirely weekly episodic women's show. I mean, let's bring back WoW or whatever,
Interesting.
I would not be mad at it. There are so many women that they can do that. And then when those women's feuds on those shows hit big time, then you bring that one feud into the main roster, whether it be let them headline a Raw or bring them into a PLE if it's big enough.
I don't hate the idea. I just think that I would support Evolution 2.
I definitely support Evolution 2. Evolution 1 was fantastic.
It was good. I don't want them to water there's going to be
I don't want to water it down either. You're right.
I want it watered down into I don't want too much fucking there's more than enough wrestling content already.
But the women don't have their own thing. And as of right now, let's face it, women's wrestling is better than men's.
Not on the main roster.
There's 2 or 3 great men things going on right now. The women are better wrestlers.
I disagree. I think that they have the opportunity to do that. They just haven't presented it well. And I do think that's something that Triple H still needs to work on. There's a lot of things that Triple H...
I mean, I feel like the top guy in wrestling for years has been a woman. I mean,
who?
Rhea.
Oh, she's not the top.
Becky.
No.
Oh, come on.
They are not...
Minus Roman Reigns. I mean, come on.
They're not bigger draws. They are not.
That's why I said minus Roman Reigns.
They're not bigger than Cody. They're not bigger than CM Punk.
Okay, Cody right now.
They're not bigger than...
Prior to CM Punk. All right, so let's go prior to CM Punk. Who was in charge? Tell me it wasn't women.
That's because they pushed it that way.
Well, that's what they had.
But I still wouldn't say they're bigger draws because if you look at ratings, it's still not as big of a... Becky might have been presented as the man. She still didn't draw more than a lot of the top guys. She did not draw more than a Drew McIntyre. She did not draw more than even the Seth Rollins. There's a reason why the pay is what it is because it's based off a draw.
Okay, so let's think of it this way now. When you're watching the chamber matches, who had the better chamber match? The women.
The women had a better match?
When you're watching the Royal Rumbles, who has the better Rumbles? The women.
I disagree.
Maybe not this year.
I was gonna say
last year though, that women's Rumble was fucking wow.
And again, I think there will be a point where it's closer, but I'm still going off a draw. Who are the people actually buying the tickets for?
Oh well, I mean that'll always be that way because the women aren't naked. It's true. It's absolutely true.
But I don't...
Unless they get more Liv Morgan, wardrobe issues at Chamber, then That's not going to happen.
But I will agree with you. Like, the developments of women, for sure, are way better in NXT. It's not even close. Honestly, even, like...
The skill of women at this point, to me, is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there are women out there, Zelina Vega size, who can come out here and do a move to a man, and I believe it.
I don't want to go that far. Me being...
I absolutely believe it.
I think that's...
When Roxanne Perez comes out and does pop rocks to, like, anyone, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, me being a 6'3" guy, I don't believe that shit.
I would.
Hey, there's no fucking...
Wrestling's fake anyway, you gotta believe it.
But again, there is a difference between showmanship, like, even with, like, Rhea Ripley. She is very strong. Do I think she can take on most average men? Fuck no.
I do.
No.
I think Rhea Ripley would fuck you up.
Rhea Ripley would. How much is she? Like 180?
Yeah, she'd fuck you up.
No, she would not.
Let's find out.
Please, I wish. Like, but let's be real. You think that if her and her husband, Buddy Matthews, actually got into a real wrestling match, she would win?
5'7".
Yeah, no.
140 pounds.
100? God no!
That's what it says.
God no! God no!
She herself says she's in fact 5'9" though and weighs 170.
Still no. Still no.
All right, you might win this. You might win this battle, but still, I enjoy watching women more than that.
And that's not. And I want to make it clear that that's my point is that I do love the women's wrestling, and I do think they need to build it more to where, and they have been building more, like Bianca, Rhea, Liv, these are legit, like, they're stars, they're superstars. Are they on the level of a CM Punk, a Cody Rhodes, a Roman Reigns? No.
Why is it believable that CM Punk can kick everyone's ass? Look at him. He's a fucking old twig.
See, and that's my point too. Is, like, honestly, that's one of the reasons I like CM Punk. I will fuck CM Punk up. So
that's kind of my point. Like, even men wrestling though, like, we get behind these guys who, in no way could. What is Jey Uso gonna do to Gunther?
To be fair, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, Jey Uso looks like the epitome of a dad bod who goes home and has a beer and a half.
That's because he literally... I'm just glad he's not driving anymore.
Well, it's not him getting the Deweys, it's Jimmy, isn't it?
Jay also has...
Oh, I thought it was Jimmy getting
the
Deweys.
Deweys.
Oh,
They both.
Well, whatever.
They both, yeah.
I wasn't trying to aim that in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Jay is not...
No, Jay's not physically imposing. And...
Sami Zayn. None of these guys.
True. I mean, but at least Sami Zayn's like a 6'2". Jey Uso's like a 6'2". Like, it's... Is it as believable? No. I mean, like Daniel Bryan, he was like 5'8".
Right.
And...
Yet everyone got behind this. I always hated Daniel Bryan, just so we're clear.
But I also think that a part of the reason why they get over too is because the average wrestling fan can relate to it because they're closer to that size. Like, me being 6'3", 260 pounds is not an average. I'm not an average sized man. You're not an average sized man. We're bigger men. But for the 5'8", 180 pound typical wrestling fan, that's something more relatable to them.
So why is Randy Orton God then? He's not your typical man.
That's why he stays at the top. Like, I don't know how the hell Randy, like, this is good. We're tangenting the shit out of this episode.
I'm okay with this. This is fun.
But
I hope someone else out there is enjoying this.
But Randy Orton, I don't know how the hell in his, like, mid-40s has gotten more fucking chiseled than, like...
Look at The Rock. The Rock didn't even get chiseled until he hit his 40s.
To be fair, The Rock's... Like, you can say Rock with his genetic... If you've seen his father.
Yeah.
His father is jacked.
Right, but The Rock didn't even get there until the 40s.
I also think there might be some aid there.
You think?
Oh, you think? But
you think being a what is he? He's a billionaire, right? Is he a billionaire? He's got to be close.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
I mean, when you have that kind of money, it's easy.
Yeah, yeah. But I always try to say part of it is his genetics because his father was a big man. I definitely think there's been some aid.
But I mean, you could argue that with the Usos, like their dad doesn't look like High Chief Peter Maivia.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's interesting because genetics go a long way. Like,
tell me about it.
Genetics go a long way, but at the same time, it's not proven science. Like right. So it's hard work and all that stuff. And I don't even know where this point is going now because we've changed
we have
shit.
No idea what we're doing.
We changed the shit out.
Who are you again?
Let's go.
It's sunny outside.
It is actually really sunny outside. Yeah, it's looking really nice.
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah. So let's talk about one of the big things that happened from Elimination Chamber with John Cena doing that final heel turn.
I called it.
You called it.
That's all I got.
Called it.
I don't even think it's hard. I don't even think it was hard to predict. It just is what it is.
Yeah, because realistically, we knew that Cody wasn't going to accept The Rock's offer.
I am rubbing in the fact that I called the shit out of that way ahead of time. Way ahead of time.
And the rumor is that The Rock did want Cody to turn heel, and WWE, everybody at WWE said no because.
Well, you know,
rightfully so.
The Rock is on top now, and Cena's his bottom.
No, Philly coffee.
Cena will now go on to win the championship.
For sure.
This is a guarantee.
And that's a guarantee.
This is an absolute guarantee.
Yeah.
He might even lose it and then win it again. And then...
I don't think he's going to be 18.
I'm just saying, like, at this point, like, the dumbest things are going to happen. Like, I mean, The Rock's going to be there for him to win the title. Because The Rock is going to be the one who did it. Because, he'll eyebrow to make devil magic happen. And then, for whatever reason, Rock's not going to be there one night, and Cena's going to have a little less edge, and Cena's going to lose. And then, oh, wait, The Rock's there again. Oh, wait, Cena's going to win it back again. No, it's just, like, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's the kind of shit we're going to be looking at right now.
So the one thing...
It's going to be like Undertaker and the Ministry kind of shit. It's going to be Vince McMahon and corporation kind of shit right now. Like, this is the stupid shit we're looking into.
The one thing that makes me nervous about this is you turn Cena heel. Do you think he drops the title as a heel or as a babyface? Because I do think he's going to turn babyface by the end of this.
So the way that my brain works on this one is he either drops it as a heel and goes face, or something happens. I don't know what. Something happens. He turns face still with the title, and never drops it.
He's got to drop the title. He has to.
I just feel like the best way to make the quote unquote GOAT go out is on top.
Which makes sense. That does make sense. I think
if I do see him lose the title, I want him to lose it epically. Like, I want it to be like in a gauntlet match where the final fucking person there wins the title and he be the first one out.
Interesting.
Like, when he loses it, I want him to lose it harshly. To say, hey, you're fucking old. Get out.
So...
I'm an asshole, though. Like, I lean more into those those hard storylines. Like, I'm going to be all over the Cena thing. I love this stuff. This is where I live.
So, the train of thinking for me is, if you have Cena lose it as a heel, that's going to either create a new babyface or reinforce that babyface. Like, the point of a heel is to put over a babyface.
Right.
Do you think it would be too early to give the title back to Cody?
I don't want Cody to ever win the title again. So.
Oh, I think you're insane.
It's not even that. I'm not even saying Cody doesn't deserve it. There are some guys who are better chasers. And some guys who are better holding the title.
That before.
Cena holding this title until the end is Cena's career, but in a nutshell, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he deserves that title when he goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say, like, I'd rather see the face turn prior and then him not losing it. So, like, I would like to see The Rock go over, push a button too far on someone Cena cares about. Cena saying, all right, I've had enough of your shit. And delivering his own rock bottom and you know, to The Rock to end it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I want to see a rock bottom, not an AA. Honestly, I really miss the rock bottom. I know other people do a Uranagi, but
yeah.
I want a rock bottom.
Yeah,
and
there's a difference.
I'm talking old school. Like, you get up there, you sweep the leg with the drop, and I want the whole body drop. Like,
yeah.
I want all of it.
Yeah.
I miss the rock bottom. That's one of my favorite finishers.
Yeah, it's a good one. So
it's not a good one, though. What does it? Why does it hurt?
I mean, it's honestly it's not much different than a chokeslam. It really isn't.
No.
So I'm assuming a chokeslam fucking hurts. Like, you taking a bump. Like, I think the average person doesn't realize what a fucking bump.
Have you ever legitimately been in a ring?
I have once.
So have I. The bumps are a thing.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that I got to do for about an hour straight was run against the ropes and do double clotheslines with another guy.
Really?
Yeah. And I went down probably 15 or 16 times. And honestly, the bumps don't hurt as bad as the ropes do.
I've heard the ropes hurt.
The ropes fucking hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to build that callus up. And
that's why, tangent, this is why I love Braun Breaker. The fucking... The running against the ropes with the spear thing.
Yeah.
Or even guys as big as Braun Strowman taking those ropes.
Yeah.
Otis taking those ropes. Dude, that's why I like those big guys.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is no joke. Right. I had bruises on me for weeks.
Damn. All right, to get back to Cena turn, then who do you think should beat? And this is way too much in the future.
It's got to be another building block.
It has to be
So Cody's older. I would rather see Cody, lose it to Cena, right? And then somebody younger coming up take it from Cena. At the same time, I mean, I wouldn't mind history repeating. If it's going to happen, KO taking it from Cena would be cool. That's a history moment. Another older guy, CM Punk, kind of needs to do something magical.
I think CM Punk might be the logical one.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised CM Punk still has the power he does, being he has won one match in WWE in the last 20 years. But, I'm going to keep going back to Austin Theory, man. I want this kid to do something. He's not at the level, obviously, to even get a title match, but this is the kid I want to do something. Like, this kid's got it.
He's got
it.
He does. He does. It's definitely that good.
Carmelo has it.
Yeah.
Like, these kids need a push.
They do need to push the newer generation.
And I say kids, and I think they're almost 30 anyway. No, Theory's young.
Theory's like 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carmelo might even be like 28.
Either way, these kids in the industry need a push, man.
So you mentioned him, Braun Breaker. I still don't think he's quite ready for that.
I don't think he's quite there, but, I mean, he's another guy, right? But, I mean, he has an Intercontinental title that they don't even push. Like, how can I expect them to push him if they don't even push his title, which is one of the most revered titles in all of wrestling, let alone just WWE?
True.
Something's wrong here, and that's what WWE needs to address is the use of the titles.
So a lot of people were like, "Let Papa H cook, let Triple H cook."
That's fair too,
and it's fair, but at the same time, I feel like Triple H focuses on specific things and not the whole picture.
That's fair,
and I do think that letting Triple H cook, he needs to cook a little bit better. He needs to cook with all the ingredients and not.
So you're saying he's a 4-star chef, but he's not quite Michelin star.
Correct. and that's that might be a hot take on the internet because
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, I think to a degree you let him cook. I think he needs an editor.
I think that and I think that's what he's starting to hire more writers on the team, and he is very collaborative.
Hey, I'm open, Triple H. If you need a writer, feel free.
So,
seeing as I've predicted every one of your moves, maybe you need someone to make you a little more unpredictable.
I think But I do think you need to have a good baby face, and it's either going to be CM Punk or Cody Rhodes that win the title off.
I'm so I agree. You need to go with your money making goats, but you have to build more money makers along the way.
They do need to build it, and
I agree with you. Build a money maker, and at some point, they did the right move with KO when they gave the guy out of nowhere a fucking title, beating John Cena at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like, my God. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying... I hate that I keep bringing up KO, but he is the best. Anywho, you need a guy like that.
That'd be hilarious if it was like Trick Williams just out of fucking nowhere.
That'd be fucking fine by me, right? I mean, but that's the idea. You need to find a guy who... Like even right now, if you're going to... Like, Ricky Saints... I don't know that he'd be the guy either because I hate that name change they did on him. But he can go into NXT at this point. If he doesn't dominate, they're doing something wrong.
Right.
But yeah, like he can go through NXT and someone can be like, "Hey, dude, have CM Punk who just won the title from Cena or something be like, hey, I see you doing a lot of work down there, and I think you need a shot. Come on up." And then Ricky Saints beat him.
Yeah.
Like. Not devastatingly beat him or anything. Make the right move. Make the right roll-up at the right time to just beat Cena. Yeah. And then let him do a couple of successful defenses.
Yeah.
That's really all it takes.
Yeah.
That's what made Kofi Mania, right? And Kofi was old when he did it. Like, let's do it too. I mean, Saints isn't young either, but let's... Let's do it while they're not stars, is my point.
True.
Young, old, or not. Like, you need an up-and-coming star, get to a guy who's not quite there yet.
Let's do a couple more topics before we end this. What do you think's next for CM Punk?
I mean, at some point, it's a title reign for sure.
I think he's for sure going to be...
I don't know how long or short it is. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. I don't know how long his contract is.
I think he just resigned for more years.
I mean, I will tell you right now that watching him in the ring has not been a burden. He has lost a step.
Oh, for sure.
But he is still very good and calculated. I really enjoyed watching him and Cena in the chamber. I've heard some people tell me they thought that looked terrible, and I was like, I don't really know what you're watching. I mean, really, all the two of them need to do is keep feigning their finishing maneuver, and the crowd's going to eat it up, me included. I think that's what I think you need from him. What they did on Monday with him and Seth was perfect.
It was so good.
It's perfect for his character. It was good that he came out and pipe bombed, and I love that he can make fun of his own pipe bomb because he knows he fucked up.
Yeah, and
it's the right thing.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna come out and drop another pipe bomb, and fuck you and fuck you and fuck you, and that's the right move. That's that's CM Punk's character in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Being a Chicago guy too, like that's what they're known for, running their damn mouth.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But now I want to see him really call out the big players. And if he's going to do what he's going to do, I want to see him take out the big dogs one by one by one. So, I mean, Drew McIntyre was first.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to see Seth. And as much as anyone may or may not think Seth is a big dog, Seth is the big dog.
He is.
I mean, I'll bring KO up again. He's got to take KO at some point.
They've teased that.
He's got to take Cena. He's got to take The Rock. Maybe not The Rock in a match, but The Rock in a moment.
Yeah. So...
Because I know The Rock he's got to be almost 60.
He's in his 50s.
There's no way he's going to be running more than... If he runs a match in the next year or two, it won't be more than one or two matches.
And it won't be CM Punk. It'll be Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns.
Yes. Maybe Cena.
It may be Cena.
Maybe Cena. If it's a Cena, it's a tag match like he did with Roman.
Right. So, for CM Punk... I'll be very honest with you. I like CM Punk. I do think that he is overrated.
Same. I'm not going to say he's not. But where they put him is up on this.
They put him on... But I think a lot of people really need to give credit to Seth and to Drew.
The guys who put him up.
Yeah, because honestly, they've made him... Like, if they didn't put those particular two people with CM Punk, fans would not like CM Punk right now. Because they were starting to boo him. A lot of people don't remember when he came back, like, they were cheering him, and then they started to, like, we'll see.
Were they booing him because Seth was getting over? Because Seth, from the beginning, has done nothing but trash him to the crowd. Yeah. And people are just loyal to Seth, no matter how much of a heel he is. That guy has crowd.
He's earned equity.
Fingertips.
Yeah, he's earned equity. And
it's like when The Rock speaks, bad guy or not, you fucking listen.
And I think it's part of that because obviously, I think most wrestling fans know CM Punk's story. He did leave the company, and again, like, you know, does he have some justification for it? I understand why he left.
My big beef with him is he'll openly say he's chasing money.
Actually, that's the one thing I do respect about him because he's at least honest about that shit. Like it's
for me, as far as wrestling, even when you love the sport, you're supposed to be there to love the sport. It's like football for me, you know. Like you watch a quarterback who have Sam Darnold is going to be my example right now. The guy had a year that any other year would have been a little higher up in the MVP conversation.
Correct.
Yet now he's going to go chase the money and end up on a team that sucks.
Yeah.
And have no shot at a postseason glory when he could have probably stayed in Minnesota. And
so I agree and disagree with that analogy. So Sam Darnold, that's a different situation. One, it's a lot more money. It's a lot more money, and to me personally, if I were him, I would try to stay in a situation where I could win while still getting paid. For a CM Punk, for wrestlers, you don't have the options that a football player does. So him earning, every wrestler is wrestling because that's their job. That's their 9 to 5. That's what they're punching the check for. Do they like the business? Yes, of course they do. And I would say CM Punk clearly likes the business. He would not be helping NXT or trying to help develop the next crew of talent if he didn't love the business. And I know that sometimes that doesn't get shown, but he clearly loves the business.
Right.
But at the end of it is a business, and I think honestly that's where a lot of the AEW issues come from. To me personally, is that I feel like WWE wrestlers, superstars, especially the top ones, understand the business more, and that's what they're allowed to do. Like they do business better. Like, of course, CM Punk's not always going to look good. Like, he's taken losses, but that was best for business. And again, Drew McIntyre right now, he's taking some roll ups and stuff like that. And a lot of people think that he's losing momentum, but a lot of this stuff is best for business. Like, they understand the business. Like Seth Rollins taking a loss to CM Punk on the first Netflix. He looked good in that match. He came out like he dominated the match, but it was his fault that he lost it. But it was best for business for him losing. So I think they understand the business part of it more, and I think it's okay to be business minded. Like, at the end of the day, again, I want the biggest check I possibly can because, again, I can't do this forever, especially for wrestlers. Like, wrestlers cannot wrestle forever.
Oh, no.
They have to earn the money while they can. So it is a business.
The other thing is, though, is if you become the master of your craft without all that money, you make a career afterwards. All the best have.
True.
I mean, you can still say Stone Cold to a 9-year-old and they know who that is.
Yeah, but he only appears when there's money. And
he has how many of his own TV shows, his own podcast, his own branded beer, his own brand of clothes.
But that's, I mean, and the older you get, and CM Punk might not want that. He might, when he retires.
And he didn't do that by money, though. He did that with legendary things in the ring.
I agree with that. But I'm saying some people, when they do retire, they don't want to fucking be in the limelight no more.
That's fair.
So make the money while you can. Like, CM Punk definitely seems like a person once. Like, he'll probably act and do some random stuff.
CM Punk will still go to every C2E2, I'm sure. Like, ever.
Well, that's in Chicago. Of course he's going to be.
Right, that's why I said it.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, the earning potential is definitely going to go drastically down because I don't think he's going to do all that other stuff that, you know, Stone Cold could do or The Undertaker could do.
No, I do still think he'll do, you know, a wrestling school and things like that.
Possibly.
I have no doubt he'll be behind the scenes for WWE forever.
I do. I think that if he doesn't burn
but
the
I
bridge...
mean, he's already a star. I mean, if you were to bring that up to a younger guy. Yeah, the younger guy obviously needs to go make some money.
Yeah, make the money. Because again, wrestling is not forever. Like one bad bump, one bad look, Biggie, one bad move.
Right, and I think he ended up resorting to having to come back to WWE because chasing money. I mean,
I think honestly part of it is I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming because the injury happened during the work, and they're still obligated to pay him his contract. So they're like, you know what, you need to wrestle, but show up for these things and honestly gain a new skill. Gain.
I love him on the mic, behind up on the desk, and if he became a full-time commentator, I'd be totally okay with it.
Yeah, he's got the charisma, he's got the speaking ability.
Can I go off on a weird tangent?
Go ahead.
Not that I've asked permission before.
Yeah.
So we talked about a commentator with former ring abilities, Corey Graves. Is something happening here?
I know.
I know he was training. I know he's been trying to get back in the ring forever. I don't remember what his injury was. It's been so long.
I believe it's a neck. It's the same. It's the same neck injury that Ivar and Eric and Edge had.
Now is all this Carmella publicity stuff? Is this still part of?
No,
him?
I think that's separate, and I do think that might.
Is it just coincidence that this is all coming up at the same time, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, WWE usually has a way of keeping this shit under wraps, and this has not been wrap at all. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be shocked if we see Corey Graves get in a ring and Carmella by his side, even though she's gone.
Because they could release her for... no, but that's the same kind of contract. Those, even if you're a wrestling contract, the other contracts are the same. They would still be on the alumni page, so that's interesting. I mean,
I'm just shooting the shit here.
I mean, you're not wrong for thinking that.
This whole Corey Graves thing, though, has just been so...
It's bizarre.
Right.
It's bizarre because...
And they haven't completely shut him up. They haven't stymied him. He's still on TV.
He's still on TV. But, again, with Michael Cole going on, like, Logan Paul podcast or saying that he was trying to work and, like, trying to work an angle. And
but to me, that makes it even more likely
exactly. That's why
it is.
Again, it is. It's very...
Anything Michael Cole says in the public or not, that guy is wrestling.
Well, I believe he's a VP, isn't he, or something? He's a higher up. He's in charge of.
He's worked his way from being the guy that I did not want on my screen 20 whatever odd years ago to the guy now that I can't live without.
Yeah,
like, he is JR now.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Honestly, I would say he's
probably more iconic than JR. Minus he doesn't have a slobber knocker, but he is the new JR.
100%. All right, last talking point, because I know you got to get going and all that stuff. Io Sky. She...
Bow to your champ.
Out of nowhere, because, again, nobody thought she was going to actually win the title. They thought maybe she'll be inserted into...
What do you mean, nobody?
Did you predict that?
I did. I knew this was coming.
I'm going to call shenanigans on that one.
Nope.
I'm calling shenanigans on that.
Okay, fine. Next time there's an event, I will call you and tell you everything that's going to happen before every match, okay?
I didn't think she was going to win. I thought that it was going to end in like some sort of disqualification where she was added to the match.
I thought she was going to win, but I thought it's because Asuka. I thought Asuka was going to come back and make her win.
Actually, yeah, Asuka's healthy now too.
That would have been a good WrestleMania start for me. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was what I thought. I thought Asuka was going to come in, make some distraction. I thought Io was going to win with the pin.
Yeah.
Regardless, Io still won.
Yeah, Io won. So it's Bianca. As of right now, it's Bianca versus Io. Do you think Rhea Ripley gets inserted in that match?
I have to assume so.
You cannot have a Mania without Rhea Ripley.
I don't want a triple though. I want a quad if I want it. If it's going to happen, and I don't know who to put there.
You can put Asuka there.
With her not having been back yet.
True, but I mean, there's.
And what are we 6 weeks away from Mania? I don't know. I would love to see a surprise fourth like that night. They're like, oh hey, we're adding a fourth, and it'd be like just some Becky Lynch out of nowhere. I don't know, something stupid like that. You know.
So
I'd be okay with that, honestly.
The thing I'm worried about with Mania is I feel like there might be a lot of triple threats.
And that's why I'm saying I don't think it'll be a triple threat. I think triples too much right now.
To me, it's for sure going to be CM Punk, Seth, Roman.
It's for sure CM Punk and Seth. We don't know about Roman yet.
But who are you?
We haven't even seen Roman since.
I think that's the point.
Maybe.
Because who else would Roman face right now besides maybe Jacob?
And we're still waiting to see what the favor is.
I think that's what the favor is.
You think the favor is going to be him wanting Roman in this triple threat in the match, so he can beat the shit out of Roman? Is that the favor he wants?
I think that he knows that he needs Roman to main event, and unfortunately, I think that if Seth, CM Punk, Roman, that's going to go last.
We're definitely going to find out on Raw because it's in the Garden, and the Garden is Bloodline City. Yeah.
So I do think that if you have those 3 stars in the match, that's going last. Gunther and let's be real, Gunther and Jay not going to go last. It's not.
It shouldn't even be a match.
Charlotte versus Tiffany's not going last. That's for sure not going last. Out of any of these, that is not going last.
I don't know, you have too little faith in Tiffany.
Well, she's not. Again, the last match has to be either you're making the next star, which, again, Tiffany could be the next star. I don't think she's quite ready for it.
I love her.
I think she's great. And that's, not even with my Minnesota bias. I think she's great. I just don't think this is going to be built as the biggest WrestleMania. You're not going to be
built as the biggest WrestleMania.
And that's true.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, but these cities are paying more and more money. So, I mean, there's a reason why it's going to be built as the biggest, because these cities are paying a shit ton of money. So, I think that's, to me personally, it's going to be a triple threat. So, that's why you're right, where the women's match shouldn't be a triple threat. But it's set up perfectly. Because Io's the face.
It really is, yeah.
Because, I mean, Io's a face, Bianca's a face. And the way they're trying to turn in, where you're kind of turning Rhea, she's slowly going to, I think it's going to be a progression. It's not going to be overnight. She's heel.
Right.
But if it is, it wouldn't shock me either. And, again, it would be a way to protect both Rhea and Bianca. Because at some point, they do need to have a solo one-on-one match. Because they haven't. Oddly enough, I don't think they have had a one-on-one match on the main roster. Even though they're both cover stars. They were both cover stars.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I believe Rhea mentioned that. Like, they've never had a one-on-one match. They've been kept separate for a reason. And those are the future of this division. Even though Bianca is, I believe, like 36, 37, 38.
See, and like with this whole Rhea, face, heel, turn, whatever is happening at this point, I think it might just be a way of switching her shows.
But I would not want her back on the same show as fucking Damian Priest.
Because
keep them separate.
If Bianca's gonna win, she's going Raw.
Right. And that's the reason I didn't think that...
And that would be why the Profits would lose to DIY because they tend to keep married couples together.
But not all the time, though. I mean, not married.
Especially not now because they only do their show and then they go home. They don't, there's no house
shows. There's only like 3
very rare house shows, yeah. But generally, they keep married couples on the same show. So, I mean, we could see the Profits come back to Raw, which would help the tag team division.
I don't think they're coming back. I think they're going to win those titles in SmackDown.
I hope so. I want nothing but the best for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So
heel turn or not, I want nothing but the best for both of them.
Yeah. So, and that's where I'm conflicted. Is like, I do now feel like because Bianca's in that match, she's going to win that title. And you might have predicted Io Sky. I still doubt that you predicted it.
Oh, I did.
But she is dropping that title at Mania. That is.
Oh, she's definitely dropping.
She's dropping it hard at Mania. Whether it's to a heel Rhea or to a babyface Bianca, she's dropping that damn title.
I wonder if Asuka could return at that and make her lose.
Which that would set up a good feud for them.
Because Io's definitely been going more face, while Damage Control is supposed to be heel.
But then again, Dakota Kai's not
Dakota's face right now too. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and then I mean that would set up because what's her
Kairi
face?
Sane.
Kairi Sane's out too. So that would set that up too, because I mean, Kairi Sane and Asuka were the tag team.
Yeah, as far as I know, though, Asuka's having a lot of like legal troubles with stalkers and things like that.
Yeah,
so
true. So she might not want to be out.
She might not want the spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. But all right. So what do you predict for the women's title? Do you think it's going to be a 4-way?
It's either going to stay the two of them or it's going to go 4. Shit, let's go 6-pack.
That's what they should do for a tag team. Honestly, they should.
Right, I agree.
For the tag team, they should do that. Honestly,
I think a gauntlet match for the tag team.
I would also love to see the IC ladder match back.
I want to see I want to see more ladder matches in general.
I think that's the way for Braun Breaker to really get out there. Because let's be real, Finn Balor's not gonna fucking do anything to Braun Breaker. I'm sick. No. Stop. Get Finn Balor out of here.
They either need to give Finn a legitimate push to make him legitimate, or stop trying to pretend he's legitimate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's a used to cut at this point.
Honestly, I actually
he's Randy Orton to me.
I honestly enjoy his delusional thinking that he's the best leader for Judgment. Right. It's actually somewhat comical to me.
I can't wait to see what they do with Judgment Day at some point.
They need to
It's either got to implode or they're gonna get a member that's gonna turn them complete face.
Oh no, they can't be faces.
Okay, dude, they pretty much are at this point. Like,
no, they're not.
No, Dominic is slowly getting there. Everyone loves Liv, bad guy or not.
That is true.
Raquel is just Raquel.
No one cares. No, she could be gone tomorrow.
Carlito is always funny. He's R-Truth in a nutshell. He's the Puerto Rican R-Truth.
Yeah.
I mean, they are good guys, whether or not you want to admit it.
I disagree. I think
they are the Thunderbolts.
The
Suicide Squad, whatever you want to call them. They're the bad guys you love to love.
I disagree with that.
You just shook your head yes as you said I
disagree with that. Because Dom's a forever heel.
No, he's not.
He's a forever heel. He is a forever heel.
See, here's the thing: is like this is where we're going to go back to WWE fans are not stupid. WWE fans know that when Dominic came in, he was terrible. He was very, very green.
Correct.
The kid's done nothing but work since he got there.
He's put in that work.
His mic skills have improved exponentially. His ring skills, the bumps he takes, the things he performs are all getting better and better and better.
Agreed.
The guy's done nothing but get better, and we as fans, we respect that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you see the only reason we boo him now at this point when he talks on the mic is because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a thing. That's all it is. As soon as he makes one correct choice, that booing stops.
But I don't want him to make that correct choice.
Why not?
Because
He's gonna be. It's gonna be one of the most natural face turns you've ever seen in the history of face turns.
Interesting.
It's just what it is. It's like Sami Zayn. Like that bloodline face turn was. I mean, has anything more organic ever happened?
But Sami Zayn is just a natural. Like honestly, Sami Zayn's just a naturally.
So is Dominic.
It's not.
No, if Dominic cuts that mullet.
Again, that is true.
That might even just be the one choice he needs to make. If that mullet goes away.
But he can't. He needs to do. He needs to steer into that. Even
if
more.
If that mullet goes away and he says, "Fuck you, Finn, we're fighting," that's all he needs.
he's gonna fucking beat Finn Balor.
He will.
He would.
He absolutely will.
He would. That'd be so funny.
And if he doesn't, it's because Finn Balor got a new member into Judgment Day.
I think this is a good point to end the episode. I like it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you subscribe the video.
Hopefully we didn't go way off.
We went way off.
We went off. It was fun.
It was fun. All right. Peace.